So tell me what you're doing in London. You've been in Spain and I think in other parts of Europe. What's the European trip about?
Yeah, so we're on a roadshow as the Qatar Financial Center in Europe. We've visited Paris, Madrid, and today we're in London. We're basically reaching out to our long-term partners. We're telling them about the new era for Qatar. This is a post-blockade Qatar, which is going through a lot of reforms, a lot of economical reforms.
We're not post-blockade, though, are we?
We're post-blockade in Qatar. It's been 9 months, and again, this is a period of reform. So we want to make sure that our long-term partners are aware of what's happening in Qatar, how the Qatari economy has been strong, how the Qatari economy has been resilient, and we're revealing our new strategy for Europe, North America, and Asia.
The one thing that people say, I look behind me here, I've got the DIFC behind me. This is what you replicate. Competing, how to establish yourself much more as an authority into other markets. That's part of the strategy. Fill us in on the latest moves.
So basically, the Qatar Financial Center has been around since 2005. We started maybe a year after DIFC. We see ourselves as complementing other financial centers globally. Qatar has a niche angle to it. We've done it slightly different. Our financial center is onshore, and basically we've been put together to develop the local financial services sector. I think 15 years into the making now, we're looking at how do we generate hub activities out of Qatar in certain niche areas within financial services. And we're reaching out to our long-term partners with our sovereign wealth fund, and we're telling basically our partners that Qatar is also an alternative hub, and we want to tap into certain countries in the regions. We're looking at something called a corridor strategy. We're looking at countries, new markets, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, even Pakistan, Turkey, and Iran. These are markets that haven't been covered fully in the region, and we think Qatar has a niche angle to those markets given our political alliances with those countries.
So you think you can do businesses can do business better from Qatar than they can from Dubai into those markets, and that's your selling point. That's why it helps to be in Qatar as well as in Dubai.
We have the logistics into those countries. We have political alliances with these countries. We have tax agreements with those countries. And we are looking at incentivizing multinational presence in Qatar targeted towards those countries. Those countries are a bit riskier than other countries, especially when it comes to perhaps Iraq and Pakistan. It's unknown territory when it comes to multinationals. But we believe Qatar can put a very generous incentive plan to tap into those new territories, we call them, new markets, new corridors for Qatar.
Yusuf, one of the things that people have said to me since I've been here is in regards to the growth for your business is, look, you can get the businesses in other words, you can get the banks and the institutions to come to Qatar and likewise here to Dubai. But penetrating the local market is the biggest challenge. What are you going to do to help institutions that plant the flag in Qatar? What are you going to help them do to penetrate that local market more?
Well, we've allowed them to penetrate the local market from day one. What we're doing differently recently is that we are allowing all our financial institutions and non-financial institutions in the Qatar Financial Center full access to the Qatari tenders. Tenders is a big part of the market share. As you know, our government is driven by oil and gas, so a lot of the government expenditure goes towards infrastructure, health, and financial services in general. So given multinationals full access to the Qatari tenders is an incentive by itself.
Yusuf, just briefly, is it making it a harder sell, the standoff between Saudi Arabia and other neighbours in Qatar? Is it making it a harder sell to business for you?
Listen, there's definitely dislocation in the region. There's travel restrictions, there's logistical problems, but we're taking full advantage of the situation. We're considering this period a period of reform. We're making a lot of changes. We have changed our real estate law to allow 100% foreign ownership. We have changed our equity ownership laws recently to 49%. So we're taking full advantage of the situation. We're turning these short-term problems into long-term gain.